Hello, today I'm going to review the Fitbit Charge 4 fitness watch, and it's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag today because there's some things I really like about this watch and other things I find very frustrating. First things first, here it is here. I got it's having trouble focusing. I got the version, the special edition version, and I got this with my frequent flyer points. I didn't actually pay for this watch. So I wanted the face that's on the clock face that's on the front, which is the analog one. And I found it a little bit frustrating at first because it doesn't come with that clock face straight out of the box, which I found a little bit funny. It has to do its little firmware update, and it does that whenever it wants to do that. It doesn't do that when you want to do it. It downloads little pieces at a time, and usually, I think from what I've learnt on the Fitbit forums, it's ready to go by the next day. Like after you have a sleep, it syncs and does its update. But I thought that was a bit frustrating, not having the clock face that's displayed on the package. So I originally got this watch because I like the design of it, the external design, I should say. You know, it's a slim watch, and it's got slight curves to it. I liked this is a reflective band. This band here, it's light reflective. I liked it more than the other band with the diamond pattern. I wouldn't have bought the one with the diamond pattern, but that comes included. So I've already sold the diamond pattern band. So I liked the style of it. I thought it looked really modern, and it wasn't really thin like a bracelet, but at the same time it's not like a big smartwatch like an Apple Watch. So I really like the style of it, and I wouldn't change anything about the style of it. It's quite lightweight, so surprisingly lightweight for a piece of electronics. And there's nothing really I don't like about the design, the physical appearance of it. But that's pretty much where the positivity ends, because using the watch I found very frustrating. The main problem I found, there's two main problems with this watch that I found. I'll talk about the minor problem first, and that is the minor problem is that the display is very dim outside. The other problem is that the watch face doesn't stay on. So regarding the brightness of the display, if you have a look at that display, I'll try and get it to focus on it. No. If you have a look at that display, it comes in two colors, a grey and a white. Let me see if I can focus on it. No. I'll do it from the box so that it actually works. So the hour hands on this particular clock face, the hour marks and the hands are white, and the date and sorry, this is all back to front, so it looks like uncoordinated, but so the date and the secondary display is grey. Outside you can barely see anything at all. Even on the white that has the most contrast, you can barely see. Just give me a second. Okay, so outside on a sunny day, if you're cycling for example, you can't see what's written. You know, I go to the beach with my dog that happens to be there, And if I want to just check the time, it's very hard to check the time, let alone check what your heart rate or anything else is, or the date on the secondary display. So that's one big problem, because if I'm riding a bike and I want to quickly glance at my heart rate, I can't even see the heart rate. So it's practically useless for cycling. I've seen other people complain about the same thing at any outdoor activity. There's even a feature request to make the display brighter on the Fitbit community forums. So that's one of the things I found, but it's a minor thing. Even that, it's annoying, but I found it more annoying that the display keeps turning off. So I'm going to talk about that now. I was under the impression that, you know, the display stayed on, and it's a little bit misleading, because when you look at an analog clock face like that one, when it's on the packet like that one, you think that it's going to be there all the time, and really that should be the default, is that should be there all the time. And then if you want to turn it off automatically, that should be a setting to turn it off as a battery saver or a screensaver. But that's not the case. So the longest, after you've done the firmware update, you can leave the display set to long, but it still doesn't work. It's still not long enough. I wanted this not so much as a fitness watch, but just a basic watch that told me two things. I wanted to know two things, that's all. I wanted to know the time, three things. I wanted to know the time, my heart rate, and the calories burned. That's all I really care about. That's all I wanted in this watch. So, what was I saying? Okay, I found that there's this quick view feature, and I'll put it on now. You're supposed to be able to click your wrist, flick your wrist, and turn your wrist, and it comes on. You know, it's called the quick view feature. So what I found is that often that doesn't work. When you want the watch to come on, when you want the clock face to come on, it doesn't always come on. And conversely, when you want it to stay off when you're sleeping at night, it comes on when you're tossing and turning around in bed. So and you're meant to wear it asleep because it's a sleep tracker. So there's another feature request to turn the display, the quick view feature, off at night when you're sleeping. And there's another feature request on the Fitbit community forum to have an always on display. And a lot of people have requested it over and over again for the various models of Fitbit watches. It's been requested about 3 or 4 times, and each time it's been voted, you know, it gets 3,000 votes, 4,000 votes, 6,000 votes. People want the watch face to stay on, and it doesn't on this particular model. So one of the first times, on the day one, I went out with it just to try it out, and I was at the supermarket and I was waiting in line, and I had things like this. I was, you know, as you do if you're in the express thing, and I went like this and tilted my hand to check the time. So it doesn't work when you do that. You know, it doesn't come on. I've just turned my wrist and it's meant to come on. So it doesn't come on in certain situations. If I'm lying on this couch behind me over here, you know, and I've got my hand up and I want to just check the time, forget the heart rate just forget the heart rate. If I just want to check the time, which is what a watch is for, if your hand's vertical and you flick it, it won't come on. So it's very frustrating to have a watch that doesn't come on when you want it to come on. So then you have to press the button. You know, you have to come and press the button. Alright, well, okay, so yeah, and initially when I first bought the watch, I assumed that the display would just be always on, or at least there'd be a setting to put it on. And people want to see that feature. Like I said, I have had a look and ended up on their forums trying to determine how to get this always on. And people have said, well, no, you shouldn't have it always on because then you'll whinge about the battery life. And other people have said, oh, I'm an adult, this is America, just give me my watch with my always on display, I'll worry about the battery life. I'm going to also share with you what someone said to me on the forum. I have a bit of a gripe with the Fitbit forum. Someone said to me on the forum, I'll just grab that now. Okay, here's what someone has said to me. For the quick view, hold the forearm within 30 degrees of horizontal, then rotate 90 degrees. The screen will light. I find the quick view works so reliable that it makes the always on display useless. By the time my arm gets to a position where the display can be seen, the always on display has switched to the face I want. I simply have found it impossible to view the always on display while the watch is on the arm. Sorry, but I am not a robot, and I don't walk around with my arm out like this at a 0 to 30 degree angle and tilt my arm like this 90 degrees if I want to see the time. That's not how people check their watches. If you look, often your arm is at any old angle and you just want to have a little peek, just glance down and it doesn't come on, so it's useless. Also, with it off, it looks like I'll turn it off, it looks like I'm wearing a piece of jewelry. It looks like a bracelet. If you know anything about me, which you don't because it's a new channel, I don't wear any jewelry. I don't want to wear any jewelry. I don't want to wear a bracelet. I want to wear a watch. That's all. I don't want to look like I'm wearing a bloody bracelet with a blank display on it. It's not. The display looks really cool. The display actually looks really modern and nice and simple. Just give me the information that's there and I'll be happy to check the time and other things. I don't even care about the calories and the heart rate. It's just for the time. Just show me the time. Pause this a second. That's right. Okay, so the other problem I have with it is this. I encourage you as a potential buyer of any Fitbit device, go to the Fitbit forums and look up what watch you're about to get and have a look at the problems that people have with them before you actually buy it. Don't check the reviews. Don't even bother going to the end of this review. Just go to the Fitbit forums and have a look at the number of problems that people are having with their Fitbit devices and all sorts of things. Just they want them to sync to 2 devices at once and can't do that, or just a lot of the people are requesting many different things. And I have a big problem with the Fitbit community forum. There's a lot of feature requests going on, and some feature requests are good. But the trouble is that they're really giving attention to other feature requests before the main ones. Like, for example, this watch supposedly controls the Spotify thing. I don't listen to Spotify. I don't use it, so it's useless to me. Luckily, you are able to take the Spotify little icon off the menu, so that's one positive thing. But I don't really even want to see it there. And another thing it does is that you can pay for things with your Fitbit device. But again, I haven't used that feature because that feature only works if you have a screen lock on your phone. If you don't have a screen lock, you can't use the Fitbit Pay, whatever it's called. Okay, I don't care about that really. I have to take my license with me wherever I go outside anyway. So what difference does it make if I take a debit card? You know, that would come in handy for cycling. You know, because you don't technically need to take your license with you cycling. So might have come in handy, although you can't withdraw cash from it from an ATM. But even so, it's above all a fitness watch, right? It's not a Spotify controller, you know. It's not meant to be. Well, they're trying to make it do all sorts of things. But initially, as I said, I only wanted a fitness watch that gave me three things: the time, the heart rate, and the calories. You know, all these superfluous features don't really interest me, and they detract. I think it detracts from the overall thing. You know, because where does it end? Okay, you want to control your Spotify. What if someone wants to control? What if they don't use Spotify? What if they use Last FM or whatever it's called? You know, or what if it's just one of those things? And so, what I have a problem with Fitbit answering feature requests from people. What I saw when I had all these troubles trying to get the clock face that I wanted, I saw that they were going to consider implementing features such as a water reminder notice. So in other words, you set on your watch, on your Fitbit, to remind you to drink water every hour, and it will buzz and say, remember to drink water every hour. I don't think that is as important as having the always on display. It's a simple thing that people are asking for, and it's been ignored. And when Fitbit does bring it out, they only bring it out for one watch, even though it has been requested for all of the watches. So they bring it out one at a time, and everybody has to ask. They asked for it with the Charge 3, and it didn't happen, apparently. So I haven't been a Fitbit user for very long, and already I could find where people were asking for it for all sorts of different models, and they haven't been answered. And instead, they're considering Fitbit is considering water reminders and all bullshit things like that. For example, another one is, you know, there's a feature request for women to select when they're pregnant so that their periods aren't off. Well, you know, I'm sorry, but I don't think that's as important as having a display that's always on, because this is a fitness watch. It's not a pregnancy tracker. Now, I actually got banned from the Fitbit forum for simply disagreeing with that feature request. I just simply disagree that that is an important feature, and they banned me. They deleted everything I said. Yeah, they said I'm trolling, whatever. You know, I don't think that Fitbit is thinking about their user demographic. They're not pregnant mothers who buy them. Well, maybe if they are, I'll get rid of my watch, because I don't want to be associated with, you know, women who are having 4 babies and want certain features during their pregnancy on their Fitbit. That's not what it's intended for. It's intended to make you get off your ass and become more active. It's worked a little bit getting me off my seat, but not much. Had I known all of this sort of thing, I probably wouldn't have bought the watch to begin with. I would have just... it's sometimes a pain in the ass to return things, and especially returning it to Qantas. How do you return an item to Qantas? I don't even know. So I've had to lump the watch. But what I'm saying is, you can't give everyone what they want on their Fitbit, because if they do, it'll end up looking like the car that Homer Simpson designed. And eventually someone up at the top has to cull the ideas, and cull the stupid ideas. And you can't tell these people anything because they're permanently offended. So that whole experience on the Fitbit community forums has really soured my experience with Fitbit. You know, if they're going to want to put all these features into a fitness watch, it's going to get overloaded with features. And there's a thing in the design world called feature creep, and it's where things suffer from too many features that are added to try and please everyone, and eventually it becomes cluttered. But I don't want to see a setting. But one of the answers was, well, if you're a man, you don't even see the pregnancy setting. Because I wouldn't even want to see that. If I was a woman, I wouldn't even want to see pregnancy. And I don't think Fitbit is thinking about the, what about women who can't have a child, because they're infertile? What about their feelings? What about menopausal women? What about their feelings? Do they want to see pregnancy settings on our fitness watch? What happens with transgender people? They will be wanting a pregnancy setting too on their male version. So it opens up a whole can of worms. And I really hope people push back on it, because really it's not a pregnancy tracker. It's meant to be a fitness watch. And I feel that the Fitbit community forum is ruining the brand Fitbit. It's morphing it into something else. And if I was the Fitbit management, I would simply say no. You're not having water reminders. No, just learn to say no to people. People don't always know best. The average person is not a product designer. They're not a user experience designer. They don't know these things. Yeah, it might be all right for you to have a water reminder, but not 30 million Fitbit users. So if you can tell, I'm pretty much going to end this review here, because I'm getting a bit narky even talking about the whole watch. Pretty much, I'm not that happy with this watch, because all I want it to do is show me the time really quickly and give me a little bit more information than a normal watch. And I can't even do that right without it coming on all through the night. So I might stick with this watch until I'm lost a few kilos more, until I'm down. Maybe if I'm about 85 kilos, I'm going to jettison this watch and just focus on my cycling. I'll be getting a heart rate strap, a dedicated heart rate strap for cycling, so that I can use with my cycle computer, because this Fitbit is absolutely useless for looking at your heart rate when you're outside. So I hope I've given you some idea into whether you should buy this watch or not, but I strongly suggest you take a look at the Fitbit community forum and see if it's something you want to be a part of or not. Because I get the idea that they're all millennials there, and everyone's thinking the same thing, and if you go there and disagree, you'll be out. You'll be ostracized. So it's not something really. I feel it makes me feel old wearing this watch or visiting the forums, and I think they've ruined an otherwise good product, because it looks good. The display looks good. If you just left it on, I would be happy. Alright, well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Bye bye.